I don't know about you guys, but I cannot stop thinking about The Force Awakens. All right, we got the first bit of drama out of the way with Force Awakens. That is, that it is good. By all accounts, everybody seems to love it. There are a few detractors, and there's a few questions, and that's what we're going to talk about today. I've got 5 big questions, and I'm going to answer, hopefully, 3 of them, and then the other 2, I don't know. You guys, maybe you guys can help me out. Before we continue, let me just say there are going to be some spoilers here, so if you don't want to know what's happened, I would suggest strongly that you do not watch the rest of this video. Go watch Star Wars, then come back and watch me talk about this. But let's get started. Number 1, how the heck is Rey so good at the Force just like that? Well, let's take a look at what we know. We know that Rey is an orphan, and she's stranded on Jakku, and she's left to be basically a scavenger of used parts from the junkyard, from all, you know, the Imperial Star Destroyers and AT-ATs that have been killed off in previous wars. And she also mentions more than once throughout the film that she needs to get back to Jakku because she's waiting for somebody. Well, obviously those are her parents. She thinks they're going to come back. She doesn't know. There's no appointment. She just believes that she needs to be there when they come back. That's what we know. We know that much for sure. Now, the title of the film, Star Wars The Force Awakens. Awakens? Now, that's not the Force in general, I don't believe. I believe that what they're talking about specifically is Rey, her awakening. When she's at Maz's castle, I don't know how you pronounce her name. Is it Maz? I forget. Maz or Maz. When she's at her castle and she goes down into that dungeon area, by the way, which there's nobody around, but the lightsaber is calling out to her. And when she picks up the lightsaber, she has a vision. But it's not a vision. No, it's not a vision. It's a memory. Memories of her crying out after she's taken from her parents, or they're taken from her. I'm not sure which. Memories of the Knights of Ren standing in the rain. Now, I mentioned before that her parents were taken. We don't know that. But presumably they're there. That memory is of that separation. And the Knights of Ren, I believe, are responsible for it. And why do I think that? Well, what else do we know about the Knights of Ren? We know that they went around killing Jedi. All right, and we also know that Luke was training a bunch of Jedi. They referenced that in the film more than once, I believe. And we also know that in those memories, she saw a mysterious cloaked figure putting a robotic arm or hand on R2-D2. I mean, who else could that be besides Luke Skywalker, right? So, long story short, Rey is Luke Skywalker's daughter. And therefore, it's a safe bet that Luke was training Rey, his daughter, at a very young age as part of his Jedi training thing. And the Knights of the Ren created that separation between her and Luke and the rest of the Jedi, and she was left alone. I don't know, either she escaped or they sent her off somewhere or whatever. And the reason why she doesn't remember this, my guess, again, is that it's some sort of, post-traumatic stress thing where she's kind of, forgotten it all. She just has vague memories. I know that one theory that we can rule out as far as Rey being suddenly aware of the Force is that she had her blue milk spiked with midichlorians, because if that is what happened, that would be incredibly stupid. Oh, and by the way, we could probably easily weave this theory into why Kylo Ren went to the dark side. We know that Kylo Ren is Han Solo and Princess Leia's son, and we know that he was being trained as a Jedi, and then somehow, decided that he wanted to go all dark on everybody and join the Knights of Ren. As such, if the images that we saw of Rey's memories of the Knights of Ren are them participating in the killing off of Jedi and abandoning Rey from her parents, then we have to also assume that Kylo Ren is not one of those Knights of Ren. And therefore, we could probably assume that Kylo Ren or Ben Solo was there that day. He was also separated from his parents at a young age. And instead of being left behind like Rey was or escaping or whatever, he was taken by the Knights of Ren, or even went with them with the Knights of Ren. And he was, over time, trained with them, kind of like a... like a Patty Hearst syndrome almost, where he assimilated himself in their culture and in their beliefs and in their religion, as it were, and was brainwashed, I guess, into joining the dark side and viewing Darth Vader as a mythical figure, as a godlike figure, because that's how they're probably taught or trained. So there you go. Rey is Luke Skywalker's daughter, and Kylo Ren is all darky dark because he joined with the Knights of Ren when they came and killed all the Jedis at the temple wherever Luke was training Jedis and stuff. Question number 2. I thought that stormtroopers were all clones. Why doesn't Finn look like Jango Fett or Captain Rex or any other stormtrooper? Now, this isn't a question that I have a hard time with. I kind of get it. It makes sense to me, but it's something that I hear a lot out in the interwebs. But we don't know for sure why it is, but we can make a pretty educated guess. My best guess, the most fun one anyway, is that clones are stupid. I never liked the clones anyway, in terms of that whole plot point in Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. I just thought that was dumb, and I don't like it, and I don't think that any serious filmmaker like J.J. Abrams would be down with that. So they just said, you know what, we're going to go to Plan 2. But there's also some logical reasons behind this. We know, for example, that the First Order borrows heavily from the Nazi regime and all of those I don't want to say stereotypes, but the kind of the imagery of the Nazi regime. In fact, the Nazi militia in history, they were called stormtroopers, and they were notoriously badass. They were known for being the biggest thugs and the most violent people, and that's even by Nazi standards. Okay, so let's look back. We know that, for example, that the clones from Attack of the Clones, or the stormtroopers, I should say, they weren't called stormtroopers. They were called clone troopers. We don't hear them referred to as stormtroopers until episode 4, A New Hope. Therefore, I would say that anything that isn't referred to as a clone trooper or is referred to as a stormtrooper is a non-clone, and it has been that case since A New Hope, I would guess. So it's been a while, actually, since we've had any clones. If I recall correctly, in the film, Kylo Ren even suggests maybe we should go back to the clone troopers because his highly trained stormtroopers have failed when Finn escaped. And so there is the idea that they've referenced it and that they went another direction. And part of that, I believe, again, is borrow from historical, the historical Nazi period where they were often recruited as young children and brainwashed. And we know that Husk has referred to these we should take that back. And we know that Finn talked about himself being taken as a young child and being brainwashed into the stormtrooper culture. So I think that they just decided that it was better to have a more zealous stormtrooper army as opposed to just a bunch of robots, because robots fail on an emotional level, and you want people who are going to fight and do despicable things, I guess, because they think it's right. Question number 3. Speaking of stormtroopers, what is up with Captain Phasma? They hyped her up big time, and then she's got like 2 lines in the entire film. Yeah, so they totally hyped up Captain Phasma. She was billed, we were led to believe that she would be a major character in the film. She even got her own giant private statue at D23, and it was very impressive, and she's really cool looking, and she's got a cape, a stormtrooper with a cape. That's awesome. So how come we saw just brief images of her walking stoically? She had a couple lines, and then she gets killed off by being put in a trash compactor by Han Solo and who was it? Finn? Yeah. So the short answer is, well, she's not dead. So yeah, it's a safe bet to say that Captain Phasma survived. They didn't show her getting killed. They didn't show her escaping either, but still, we can make that leap. If it didn't happen, if we didn't see it, it didn't happen, right? So Captain Phasma escaped the clutches of Han Solo and Finn, and she got off the planet Starkiller, or whatever the hell it's called, Starkiller Island. She got out of there in time, I would assume. And I think that the Star Wars brass has even gone so far as to say, yeah, definitely Captain Phasma's coming back. She's going to play a major role in Episode 8. Having said that, it would have been nice to see her at least, I don't know, fire her weapon. Do something besides going, I don't know where Finn went. I just sent him to my quarters not long ago. Like that, she's not very Boba Fett-like. Not very Boba Fett-like at all. All right, question number 4. Why is everybody acting like Han Solo and Luke and all the Jedi and everything is all myth and legend and mysterious, and maybe it happened, maybe it didn't? I mean, it was just like 30 years ago. I remember 30 years ago. Look, 30 years is not a long time, guys, but Rey and Finn, when they see Han Solo, they talk about him and the Jedi as if it's from, Greek mythology or something, like a very mysterious and unknown, unquantifiable, time in history. It was 30 years ago, guys. That's not a long time. Han even says, all like deep and mysterious when they're asking about it. It's true. All of it. The Jedi, everything. Well, Han, yeah, I know it's true. Because I read about it in high school. I've got a 12-part documentary in high-def Blu-ray by Ken Burns back at my apartment. We can go watch it right now if you want. You can learn all about what you did not long ago. 30 years. So this one is one that I don't have an answer for. I don't get it, and maybe you guys can help me out. The only thing that I can come up with is that the First Order swiftly came in and, literally just swept out whatever New Republic was being built and instituted some kind of nefarious brainwashing campaign to make everybody forget what just happened. What just happened like 5 or 10 years ago. And, it does make a little bit of sense. There is that brainwashing connection with what they're doing with the stormtroopers, I guess. But really, honestly speaking, 30 years is just not long enough for the rebels to defeat the Empire, presumably kill Palpatine. But according to the Shattered Empire comic book series, Palpatine's not dead. Not long enough to defeat the Empire, start a new republic, then have the First Order come in to kick those guys out of power, take over, and then start a brainwashing campaign. All that in 30 years, that doesn't jive with me. Although there are two novels that I haven't read, Aftermath and I can't remember the name of the other one, that take place between Jedi and Force Awakens, so maybe they can fill in the blanks for us a little bit there. If anybody's read those two novels yet, let me know. See if you can help me out with this, because I don't get it myself. And finally, question number 5. What's up with R2-D2? What is this sleep mode? What? I have to admit that at the time of watching the film, I did not like how they handled R2-D2, and it kind of bothered me a little bit. And I don't mean that his role wasn't big enough or he's being disrespected. Like everything else in this new trilogy that we're about to experience, we need to move on from the old characters. R2-D2, C-3PO, I love you guys. You mean the world to me, but it's time to move on. So I don't mind that they didn't get hardly any airtime at all and that BB-8 got most of the story. I like BB-8, by the way, too. What bothered me was that C-3PO said he went into some kind of sleep mode after Luke Skywalker left. It was as if to say he was in mourning. But he's a robot, dude. R2-D2. Okay, I get it. You might have some kind of personality and an affinity for Luke, but you're still a robot, man. You work for the rebels. You work for the Resistance, man. Come on, R2-D2. And then he just wakes up when Rey returns. He just wakes up, and he's got a piece of the map. Oh, by the way, like some sort of Deus Ex Machina. And why did that piece of map have to be missing anyway? That was an intentional thing that Luke did somehow. Did he? It's a clean chunk. It's not like there's fragments of memory lost on a disc or something like that. I kind of get that, random pieces of file. But I hate how they visualize tech, by the way, in movies. How they visualize a piece of memory left off a chip is now going to be, it's going to be all 3D. And look, it's like a jigsaw puzzle, and there's a piece of the jigsaw puzzle missing, and R2-D2's got that, and it just fits in all nice. Why? Why did we have to do that? Why did he have to separate that piece? Are we on some kind of treasure hunt, Luke? What is this? Do we have to solve a riddle before we can find you? Now, in that little memory or dream sequence of Rey's, we see Luke putting his hand on R2-D2. Is it possible that at that point is when he's giving R2, kind of like Princess Leia, right? In New Hope, where she feeds him the thing, which is, by the way, it was like a little floppy disk or something. But maybe that's when Luke, so is it intentional? Did Luke put it in there? Did he put the map to his location or the location where he's going in there? And did he give R2-D2 any direction, as if to say, R2, when you get back, go into sleep mode until it's the right time? I guess whenever that is. Tell us the right time, and then give them this map so they can find me. It does seem like Luke is in hiding, right? He went away. He's trying not to be found. Actually, and I as weird as that seems, I really hope that is at minimum the reason for this, because if it's anything else, if it's just luck or whatever that woke R2-D2 up and he happened to have that thing, that jigsaw piece of Luke's map, then that's just a Deus Ex Machina. And as I mentioned, I just think that's awful as a storytelling device. It's a crutch that is leaned on far too often. All right, there you go, Fresh Baked. Those are my 5 major questions that I have with Force Awakens. I want to know your thoughts, though. What do you think about Rey and her abilities with the Force? First of all, what do you think is the reasons why she have it? Do you go with my theory? And did you like that she was able to do it so fast? Some people were not crazy about her being instantly good at it. Any questions about the clones? I want to hear your theories on why they switched from clones to brainwashed stormtroopers. Did you have a problem with Captain Phasma not being in the film enough? I did. And I want to know from you guys, were you as confused as I was when they started talking about the Jedi like they were some sort of mythical figures? That kind of was weird for me. And finally, what's up with R2-D2? You guys, give me your thoughts, give me your theories, and let me know what you think. Comments below, and then we'll see you next time, guys, with Fresh Baked, and may the Force be with you, except for you, because you're clearly got a dark mind, and I think you should go hang out with the Knights of Ren, okay? Bye, guys. Fresh Baked and stuff. We've got lots more videos for you to see, so grab a churro and check out our Secrets in History videos, or maybe our ride-throughs, or you can just watch all of our weekly trip reports and have your mind blown by how much fun we're having. It truly is the best of Disney Baked Fresh Daily. Oh, and don't forget, you can support Fresh Baked through our Patreon campaign, link below. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Fresh Baked!